University Park is a predominantly residential community of more than 23,000 residents. Located just north of downtown Dallas, the city is the home of Southern Methodist University and the George W. Bush Presidential Center. University Park is also known for its attractive homes, beautiful parks, numerous churches, and the highly regarded Highland Park Independent School District. University Park began as a cluster of homes surrounding SMU. The university supplied these homes with utility service until 1924, when a growing population could no longer be supported by the school's facilities. In April 1924, residents voted to incorporate. Since the 1940s, the population and area of University Park have remained relatively stable. Encompassing 3.8 square miles, the city is bordered by Dallas on three sides and the town of Highland Park to the south. Today, operating under the council-manager form of government, University Park continues to enjoy high property values, a low tax rate, safe neighborhoods, high-quality fire and emergency medical services, and beautiful parks and green space.
A little bitty house among some real big houses, and so it was pushed back way at the back of the lot, so we had a great big front yard, and looking north, it faced north, there were not a lot of houses north of us.
You know, it was just barely a city in some of those times. It had been a city 15 years.
It was like living in the country.
So it was really an ideal place to grow up.
Well, we used to play hockey out in the street. We called it shinny, and you had a tin can and a stick that you made, and actually we played it on Potomac.
We used to go to the pool a lot. It was just a great place to see your friends, and especially you could play ball all day and go to the pool after dinner at night.
All of our kids, it was just a bicycle away. We'd ride our bicycles down there to swim.
Boy Scouts, oh yeah, I was a Boy Scout. My brother was an Eagle Scout. We used to walk down to Bradfield. Bradfield had an excellent troop. Highland Park Methodist Church had a great troop. Dr. Bowers was kind of head of it. The Presbyterian Church, Highland Park Presbyterian Church, had a wonderful troop, and I think University Park did. So scouting was big.
Well, I guess I was always involved. I was in campfire. I always loved sports.
And we played baseball, football, and basketball.
And I was a guard because I was tall. I was always the tallest one in the class.
Our baseball team was the Caruth Park Penguins, which is probably a long-lost name and not many other penguins in our city.
I went to University Park grade school, rode my bike up Turtle Creek to get to school.
And we had Armstrong, Bradfield, and University Park. And we were all big rivals.
We're all big fans of SMU, so I went to the football and basketball games with my dad, and we used to ride our bikes up to Ownby Stadium when a high school team was playing, or maybe a game I wasn't going to, and we'd steal the streamers, you know, the crepe paper from the cars, and put it on our bicycles, and we'd run around on their bikes with those colors.
I remember going up to Highlander Stadium when I was just a little fellow with my dad and watching Doak Walker play football.
Oh yeah, we my junior and senior year, we went to the semifinals each year and got beat by the same team.
And our football team went to the semifinals, got beat on the last play of the game by Wichita Falls, who was the eventual state champion. The last play of the game was a long pass that guy caught it on his back in the end zone.
We used to go up and we would take turns starting Thursday night sleeping on the parking lot of the Highland Park Methodist Church. But we would go up there and stake out our claim, and then we'd have park here at 10 cents. And when the cars would come, we'd get a dime off of them. Now, some of them would say, "You can't do this. This is church property." You say, "Okay, go on the football game. Forget it."
I played high school football, went to SMU and played football, and played 7 years of professional football. Kind of average, but I was able to play, and I've told people I'm proud of having played with and against some of the greatest players, but I sat on the bench a lot.
Well, the Y was, there was an old two-story white home at Gore Park, and that's where the Y that I knew started.
I was one of the first members of the YMCA as a charter member. Took flights. We actually met in the house that was still standing on Gore Park.
The YMCA was a tremendous program. I was a charter member of the YMCA.
It was a key place for the students. When I was in high school, they had a dance every Saturday night. I think they called it a sock hop or something. And we'd all meet over there and, take our dates if we had a date. And it was a real influence.
The YMCA, in a way, was the rec department of University Park. I remember going to the Y and using the park for football and baseball and so forth. And that's where a lot of us went pretty regularly.
Y was highly respected, utilized by most families that had a child. The YMCA was utilized, and having an indoor pool was magic.
The spiritual influence on this community has been fantastic. I mean, you'll find probably percentage-wise more spiritual or Christians in this community than you'd find in almost any community.
We may wind up going to Highland Park Pres this Sunday evening or Park East Baptist the next Sunday evening. It's just all of us became good friends, and we'd go where we thought the best program was going to be that week. So I think they had a great impact on all of us.
I grew up in Highland Park United Methodist Church. Dr. Tom Ship was the assistant pastor, and he was my baseball coach, and got to know him very well there. And he later on asked him to perform the marriage to my wife. We did that at Perkins Chapel at SMU.
Well, Coffee Park was a planned commercial property. I'm real proud of that park. I mean, it does a lot of things that other parks can't do. I mean, we put kind of a history of University Park up there, and we worked with a group that built one of the best playgrounds, and we got a nice baseball diamond, and so on and so forth. So it's a real asset, and I'm real proud of it, and I'm glad that they named it after my dad.
That the city looks better than it's ever looked, visually, as you drive through it, as you see it.
Well, they've always just been landscaped so pretty. I don't know of any other community that has the parks that we have.
Really, when Don Houseman became mayor, he was the one that started having a park department. Up until then, we didn't have a park department, just some of the employees that liked gardening and were good at, they were kind of in charge of putting a new bush in that had died or something like that.
July 4th parade for our city is always a highlight.
The 4th of July was, really so much fun.
To me, that's our number one city thing.
And it's taken on a higher significance in so many people's lives. I mean, people invite or have the in-laws in, or they have brother who's somebody from somewhere, and suddenly they're bringing somebody.
It's exciting. We went to where I guess it was Sam's and bought a whole bunch of candy, and my son Jimmy and his sons rode with me, or we borrowed somebody's convertible. We had great fun throwing the candy out.
You start down at Highland Park, and you've got the streets lined with people down there, and the closer you get to Gore Park, the more people that you got.
Yeah, if you want to be in the parade, you can be in the parade. It's a wonderful deal. Bring your red wagon and pull it. It's just fine. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, we went to Plaza a lot. There was a show, picture show there. We went to show there a great deal.
That was the meeting place for the kids on Saturday afternoon. There was usually a double feature, and 25 cents would get us in the movie and buy us popcorn and a Coke for an all-afternoon entertainment.
Well, we could go on Saturday morning, we'd ride our bicycle up there and see the Saturday movie, and they had a cereal, always had a cereal that really we wanted to keep up with.
Yes, there was a theater, and it's shops now. It's there in the middle of the block.
There was a 10-pin bowling alley in Snider Plaza that later became an A&P store.
It's a great place to go, and lots of neat shops and stores, restaurants.
A place that matches the surroundings. It's one that where people can walk, people can enjoy. You can go take the kids and get the ice cream cone.
Well, it's very traditional, and it has not changed that much. It continues to be the little small community area that it was when we moved in.
I still eat a lot in Snider Plaza, shop a lot in Snider Plaza. I love Snider Plaza. It's pretty much like it was when I was a kid. There's no doubt in my mind that the schools play a big part in the quality of life we have in this community.
To me, that's what's made our city.
Very much of a cornerstone for our community. Our children grow up going to these schools, and they're very, very much of an integral part of what we do as a city.
In University Park, when your kid gets in high school, the talk is what college you're going to go to. It goes without question. That's what your next step is, to go to college.
The values in University Park are maintained, but to a great extent, or to a certain extent, by the school district. So it's very important for us to keep that school district at the high level it is.
I think the schools have maintained their excellence. I think probably Highland Park Independent School District is probably the tops in the state of Texas.
The city is about that education that is available, and people work hard to preserve that and prolong it.
To have the Highland Park Independent School District, the quality of teachers, the quality of education is a big part of this community. Well, it's really the reason we have a city. In 1924, there were 350 homes here. They were all using basically SMU's utilities, water and sewer, and they said, we can't do that anymore, and so University Park was created.
Many of the first residents of University Park were in some way associated, either as an employee or a professor or in some manner, with the school.
It was an educational city by having SMU in there.
So many of the students that came from far and near that went to SMU stayed in Dallas and stayed in University Park.
Well, I think they're interactive. I think one makes the other. I think it's a great opportunity for people to have the opportunity to attend lectures and programs at the university and athletic events.
Now the Presidential Library just enhances it more. It's a wonderful thing that we have. Very few communities anywhere in the world would have what we have.
The services that we provide, and that a police response time on an average is under 3 minutes, and fire department response time is on an average under 4 minutes.
There's no place that I know of that can have a policeman at your front door and maybe your back door in about 3 minutes. Have the EMT truck there.
We have wonderful police, fire, city managers.
We have been blessed with good city managers. There's not a large turnover.
See, when you have that kind of continuity, 4 city managers in 100 years, Come on. I mean, most of these cities have 30 or 40 or 50. Some of them change every 6 months. It's unbelievable to have that continuity, and that's what we have.
Well, I've known all four of them. It's very important because, I look at the manager, he's the chief executive of the city as far as running the operations. But he's looking for guidance from the council and from the mayor. And you talk a great deal, and you're together a great deal. And if there's issues that you don't see the same way, you gotta sit down and figure out how we're gonna solve the problem.
There certainly is not a more important position, more important than all of the councilmen and mayors. And always interested, each and every one, in the improvement of the city, the improvement of the citizen.
I think that's been true with all four of our managers. They've been able to work with the council to get to the goal of what we're trying to accomplish.
University Park has been different in that we have a very cooperative relationship between the mayor, the council, and the city manager.
I love being with the members of the council. In my view, it was a great council.
It's a pleasure to serve as mayor, and I enjoyed it very much.
Well, to me, it's home. That's the first thing I tell them. It's an exceptional place to have a home.
A great place to live would be about the best thing I could think. I'd rather live here than any place that I know of.
People of the community, and I've enjoyed it and felt very fortunate to live here all my life.
Great place to live, to grow up.
It's a wonderful place to live, raise a family, be involved in the community, and there's room for everyone.
I don't think I could have been raised or raised my children in a better environment in any place in the world. I truly believe that.
It's the finest place in the world to live and raise your family.